Welcome back. Our book club continues, and joining me now is author Pamela Power. She's a television scriptwriter and script editor. She's worked on TV shows like Top Billing, Generations, Rockville, Gauteng Maboneng, and Uzalo, and is currently the script editor at Mubango. It's such a pleasure to have you with us, Pam. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me, but it's book club. Where is the wine?
Do you know what? You know what? You're supposed to bring the wine. You're my guest.
I should have.
So when you ring the bell and I open it, you're supposed to say, I brought wine, and I'll bring the glasses.
Okay.
So next time, right? I'll hold you to it. But Pam, listen, I suppose my first question will be, which top TV show have you not scripted for? Because this is quite an impressive list.
I think it's just because I'm so old, really.
No, I think it just means you're fabulous, so your reputation precedes you. And I think that's amazing. I love that you're able to write for different cultures as well. So there's Mubango, there's Generations, Rockville, Uzalo, you name it. How do you get that right?
I don't know. I think it's we've got great teams, and for example, at Mubango we have 2 cultural advisors and plenty of people who set me right when I'm sort of missing the point. Not to mention all the people on Twitter who drag me if I get the culture stuff wrong. So,
talking about people dragging people on Twitter, you mentioned to me a little bit off air saying, "Hey, I'm just not impressed with what's happening on social media over one of the books that came out." Yeah, why are you particularly upset about that one?
I think there can be criticism of the editing process and whatever, but it starts sort of getting into just absolute meanness. We're talking obviously about Bonang's book, but I don't think it's necessary. I think Tabiso at Blackbird Publishers is doing a fantastic job. I really do, and I hate to see her getting trashed like this, over this book, because also, in publishing in South Africa, there isn't that much money. Well, there's no money really. We do it for the love of it, generally speaking, and so the processes of proofreading and copy editing and whatever are sometimes rushed. And I mean, the upside of this is you cannot pay for this publicity, so this book is going to get reprinted, and all those errors will come out in the wash.
And of course, we're talking books, which for me was particularly exciting, because we thought, this whole furor is over books. We've proven our buying power. We've proven that there is an appetite for local stories. And speaking about local stories, Delilah Now Trending. This is your 3rd novel.
My baby.
Congratulations on the delivery of your 3rd baby. I love it because it's got so much mystery, it's got suspense, it's got humor as well. I don't know how you managed to weave the humor in there. It's about Delilah. She's a parent. Her daughter, Daisy, is up for this wonderful accolade at school, but things go horribly wrong when the child's nemesis, if I can say that, gets injured. And now Delilah starts to question, is my child to blame here? I'm trying to prove her innocence, but is there more that she's keeping away from me? What in the world inspired this book?
I have to tell you that, in fact, well, it was sort of a couple of things. First of all, I was listening to the PA of the headmaster at my son's prep school, when he was at prep school, and she told me this delightful story about, well, I suppose it's not that delightful, underage drinking, but she mentioned how the grade 6 boys at the Leavers Feast, they had been allowed to clear the glasses off the parents' tables and had sipped the dregs of the wine.
Goodness.
And had got completely trashed. Obviously being in grade 6, they hadn't ever...
Low tolerance for alcohol, so we couldn't bring wine.
So that was I love that story, and, I just thought, oh, that would be great in a book. So that was one thing. And just, I think, my daughter, watching what she's gone through with, I mean, thank heavens I did not grow up in the era of social media, because it's tough on kids, the kind of bullying that goes on when kids can be anonymous, the sort of things they say. So my daughter, I did a sanitized version of the book for her, took out all the sex scenes, and she read it for me. She was one of my beta readers, and she helped me with a lot of those diary entries and stuff to make it sound believable.
Yeah, so Mom, we wouldn't say
exactly.
Rad is so 1999. Yes,
no.
Yeah. But that's absolutely amazing. So what do you intend to achieve? So when the reader opens this book and reads, what emotions do you hope to conjure up or stir within the heart and the mind of the reader?
Mostly, I want people to be able to identify, to go, oh, I felt like that. Oh, wow, yeah, parenting is so hard. Yes, I have experienced that watching my kids at school, the issues of racism and whatever. I want people to identify, and also I don't want it to be heavy. You know, I love humor, so I want people to be entertained. And I suppose I write the books I like to read. So with the kind of psychological thriller twist, you know, what's the psycho going to do, sort of that feel as well.
I mean, as a parent, I loved it because, you know, you have those moments with your children, and after they turn around the corner, you think, ay, what in the world, you know? So you feel like, you know, you can relate to Delilah and some of the scenes as well, and you're thinking, oh gosh, at least I'm not doing such a bad job, or it's not the end of the world. So that for me was amazing. With that in mind, your target audience, who do you expect to read this book, your market?
I hope that, you know, I recently did this book festival in Lenasia, Josie Books and Bloggers Fair, and I was so surprised, sort of older teenage girls were buying it. Yeah. But, you know, having been brought up very strictly, I was like going, there are lots of sex scenes in this. Do you think it's appropriate for you to be reading?
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so I think from that sort of age, from 17 up, and then somebody said to me, a friend of mine from varsity said, oh, his mother absolutely loved it, his 75-year-old mother. So, yeah, I think
it's a wide range there. Yeah,
fantastic. I think it probably appeals more to women than men. I don't know. Hard to tell, you know. I think my psychological thriller, which was sort of a straight psychological thriller, Things Unseen, probably appealed more to guys. This, I think, will probably appeal more to women, but it's hard to tell. I mean, who knows? You write the book, you send it out there, you don't know who's going, you know.
Yeah. Available at Exclusive Books.
Exclusive Books.
As we speak.
Scoops, Love Books, Josie, yeah.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. And I did mention that it is your third installment, it's your third novel. Is there a particular change that we can see in this one, other than the fact that it's a different genre? You did mention the thrillers, etc. Is there a change in your writing style? Are you going in a particular direction with your work?
I'm definitely heading to more sort of, they call it griplet, which just frankly sounds obscene. But it's sort of psychological thriller. That's what I like to read. I think probably like a lot of youngsters, I started off reading chick lit, but even my first book, Misconception, has a very sort of dark twist. So I have that sort of sense of humor. You know, I like a bit of darkness in a book. Maybe it's us as South Africans, what we enjoy. I don't know. The stuff we cope with in everyday life. So, yeah, it doesn't sort of have, I suppose, that lightness of overseas books. Yeah, it's that sense of humor.
Congratulations, and thank you very much. It is available
thank you so
as
much.
We speak. Delilah Now Trending. I love the use of modern day language there. This is something that you can relate to as well. You know, that hashtag and the trending this and trending that. Talking about trending things and hashtags, have you started tweeting support to hubby? I believe he's running a marathon today.
He's running his first half marathon, and you know, we weren't supposed to mention it in case he doesn't finish.
No,
so
because now the pressure is there. Now people are going to tell him that your wife just, you know,
mentioned you on
so you can't give up now. Oh, fingers crossed for him, and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Absolute pleasure.
Appreciate your time. And that was author Pamela Power speaking to us about a wide range of things, especially the book Delilah Now Trending. Go out and get it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we conclude the book club.